Good morning, everyone. Thanks, LoRaWAN invited me for this sharing, right? Yeah, so I'm from Malaysia, right? Electronic graduate, right? Now I'm more on business side, right? So been hiding in a Durian farm during the pandemic, right? Because we know the pain points in the Durian farm. They are actually the demands of technology is there due to the challenges that happening in Malaysia. Just some backgrounds about the Sustainable Hrvest, right? We are the startup in Malaysia, right? Established 2020. Okay, so we are working with people like in big plantations that who own a few thousand acres, like Musang Valley plantations. We work with AWS. We work with Alibaba Clouds. You know, we design, we deploy. You know, we trying to do a lot of optimizations based on the data, right? So data is the key for us. Okay, so based on the data, we can do a lot of ML algorithms to do a lot of things like for forecasting. You know, the aim for us is to create a data-driven farm, right? That is one step further. They are no longer as in just based on experience to perform. I mean the daily operations on it. Okay, a lot of people is asking, why is it focused on Durian? The very first thing is, it's actually very good for man health, right? And you know, that is not because only on this 24.9 billions of values in worldwide. Right, but it's actually, it tastes very, very good if you tried it. Come to Malaysia, bring you to the farm, get the fresh one. All right. So we are exporting to worldwide, especially to China and other countries as well. Right. For durians to Chinese is something like a goal. You know, we put on tables, wow, people actually looking at it because it tastes very, very good to us, right? Okay, so of course, all these things come with the challenges. You know, we apply something, technologies in a value crops that people that actually paying for, technologies for it, who willing to invest on the technologies. Okay, so these are the few challenges that, it's not easy to grow for Musang King. Musang King is actually a crops name of the durian, right? So we need to keep the moistures very well, okay? From the flowerings, pollinations, until the harvesting, right? So the data itself, we are gather is actually throughout the whole cycle. Then we get the whole benchmark of it, right? Okay, so in the futures, you can do a lot of comparisons like, hey, why this year I'm doing so well, but previous year it's not so well. So we can do a lot of analysis. Okay, so labor intensive and pest and disease. So yeah, I'm here, it's not just sharing, but I'd like to talk to people from this ecosystem. How can the technologies apply in value crops, okay? Then maybe we can do some brainstorm of it. There are a lot of needs. Later I will share with you. Okay, so just a quick summary, right? We create a LoRaWAN networks in the farm, because that is the only networks that can be easily deployed in rural areas. all right, then you can have a few kilometers of coverage on it. So machine learning and using an AI to do a lot of forecasting. For example, later it's going to have a rain, but this rain is correlated to how much of moisture increase. Then these people, they don't have to do irrigations, right? And also using a big data to create a data-driven farm, okay? So the future's aim is that we want to gather all these informations for different crops. So maybe one day, people who is not from this background, from a farming background, they can actually plant the durian, right? What they need to do is just select what is your GPS locations, then we will have an average rainfall, whether it's a flat land or it's in the slope, right? Then there will be a benchmark for it to follow, all right? Okay, then we are converting the algorithm into a user-friendly kind of method so that they can easily understand. Because to the farm, people who operating the farm, they don't actually understand on the graph itself, right? So because due to these value crops, there are a lot of investors from the worldwide actually start planting the durian, okay? So those owners, they are actually no longer sitting in a farm anymore, okay? So it's just, you know, they can be from UK, from Australia, just look at the farm performance, okay? So a very, I would say, a lot of questions come from the farm, the farm operator side. So what they are worried is more on, hey, I don't have a network. What should I do, right? Okay, then do I need to change the battery very frequent? So they are worried about all these things. I don't have electric power supplies from the, from the main line. No, they don't have, okay? So they are worried about all this complicated setup. They want it to be easy, right? And no hassles, okay? So the questions, of course, is the topic today, LoRaWAN, right? So we do a lot of analysis on how the performance of this LoRaWAN, okay? The battery can last for 3 to 4 years at least, right? So from here, we can do a lot of how it joins, when it is reading, so when it go to a sleep mode, how much of consumption that's required. So for the soil, you don't have to be sending so frequent because it doesn't change that fast. Maybe every 30 minutes, that will do, right? Okay, so this is one of it. And of course, the coverage. Few km is not an issue at all, right? Okay, and you have a good spreading factors. So this actually can, the easy setup can actually make our life easier, right? Whenever we go to the farm, it saves the time, just plant it, the sensors, then it will just get it online, right? So these are some of the use cases around the Malaysia, Johor, Malacca, Cameron Highlands, right? Okay, so what we are doing is we are trying to manage the farm in the ESG manner, right? So our site is, for example, one of my clients, they have problems in a particular zone. They have a very bad water penetrations. Because of the root zone is stay maybe just 1 feet down, but then the water cannot go through. So all this, because of the IoT data, because of LoRaWAN send the signals to the cloud to do all the analytics, that is the reasons why they need to have a one step further, the actions on it. Hey, maybe some organic matter is required to soften the soil itself, right? Another example, which is avoid the wastage of the fertilizers. The sensor is there, you know the fertility is sufficient, so you don't have to waste the fertilizers again, right? You put it in. Okay, the third one, which is more on the detections leakage. So a lot of people that actually misunderstands on smart farming, all right? So before the smart farming, we should do something which is called a digitization of the farm. So a lot of blind spot actually we can't see, right? People just putting a sensor and wait for the waters to come. No, can't. We have to, in a few thousand acres of land, we are putting in some sensors, for example, a water pressure. We're going to make sure that the water is actually delivered to the particular zone, have sufficient pressure. For example, all the time 2 bar means 2 bar, right? Whenever it's below, then something, maybe there's some leakage, or people when doing some glass cutting is actually accidentally cut the pipe. All right, so these are the things that the immediate actions that can be done, right? And avoid the disease, okay? So as I mentioned, for durian, it's very sensitive. So we're gonna take care very well, you know? It's like our wife. We have to take care of their feeling, right? We have to know what is happening, okay? We can't just by guessing, right? If it is the moisture is insufficient, then we have to put, you know, SK2, right? Put some moisturizer, right, on it. So it is sensitive as in that, right? Okay, respond to the change of climate. That's very important. That's very important. The last seasons, we have a lot of bad qualities of durian due to the change of climate, okay? The heat, the temperature rise during the fruit development stage. So when we have all this data on the grounds, on the moisture itself, weather, it is so much importance for us to have a good environment for it to grow a good quality durian, so that it won't affect the exports. All right. So that's very important, and minimize the bad quality. That's what I mentioned just now. So these are the samples data that we are actually gathering. So from the flowerings, fruits developments. So during the fruits developments, we have to take care very well on the moisture's content. When this is flowerings, we need to know how much of how much of dry is required, and dry for how long. So during that flowering stage, for example, maybe by end of December, maybe we need to keep it dry for 2 weeks, then it will start flowering. We get all these data that can be as a reference for the future, right? Okay, you can see also that how they actually put in fertilizers that can cause the effect of the pH. When pH, to us, pH cannot be too acidic, all right? It can easily create a lot of disease. And the trees only absorb the nutrients during, between a 5.5 to 6.5 kind of range. Then only we absorb. When it is below, no. What you are putting in is actually a waste, right? So these are the 2 seasons that actually capturing all this. Yeah, this is what I mentioned just now, the El Nino, and also, the next seasons will be expected there's a lesser rainfall. So we got to take care on all this. Else, the burn seeds is going to happen, right? We have to create the environments, keep the moistures right. So since we have a LoRaWAN network in the farm, there are so much of applications can be done, right? It's not only on the soil itself, right? Maybe some asset trackings. People would like to know where is their truck go around the farm, right? Maybe some emergency buttons, right? Because there's no coverage, there's no signal, mobile signals at all, right? Maybe some security alarm, right? So today, maybe later on we can have some brainstorm on how the technologies can be applied in this crop. So to us, smart farming is a big topic. So we are not just like moisture content. No, not just only that. But that is the very first step for us to create some applications level on top. Okay? Connectivity is more on LoRaWAN. A very value to us, which is precise planting model, right? Like what I mentioned just now, a lot of people that not from this farming industry would like to enter into this. So the planting models that actually is them to avoid them to come into like maybe wasting of time, because to plant a durian, 5 years only can start fruitings. Okay. So these are some of our deployments here, right? Throughout the Malaysia. So around the Asia's countries, people from Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, they have started plantings on Musang King. So we get support from the ecosystem, people from DTDS, people from Alibaba Cloud, AWS. You know, we work with people from universities. You know, engineering for smart farming alone, electronics engineers can't just do it. We need some feedback from different people, right? So feedback from the farm itself. So they will tell us what is important to them, right? What they want to know. So these are our partners, okay? All right. This is another thing which is Professor Susanna from Malaysia is actually doing. So they put the so-called the LoRa gateway, put on top of the this drone, try to fly around and pick up the signals. This is just some sharing, right? Yeah. So just a quick summary, because we are facing the farm owners is quite a lot on this. To us, very important to have a problem statements. If they don't have a problem for a small farm, don't go in. If you go in, more problems. So it will be very important on that to have the problem statements, right? Have the right expectations. That's very important. People misunderstand on smart farming. They will come and call you, hey, your things is smart, not smart. You can't control. So it's a big problem. To us is that we are using the data to create the insights, how we actually help on the daily operations. That will be more important to us. All right? So analytics, okay, very important. Based on the data, create a data-driven farm. Okay? So commitment, there's no freebies. Okay? Everyone commit their time, their efforts on it to make this happen. Last thing, which is economy. Benefits to the farm and possible to scale. We don't sell something that which is too expensive for them, just can get a few units. We want it to be scalable, right? So that is the summaries on it. Peace in the mind, right? Okay? Thank you very much. So these are my presentations. Let's connect through the LinkedIn. Thank you very much. Arigato.